What's up, everybody? I'm comedian Michael Halcomb, and back in the house with me today, comedian Todd Probus, based out of Woodford County, Kentucky. And we are going to have Todd bring a joke. We're going to try to workshop it a little bit, and then we're going to make up some jokes on the spot. You're not going to want to miss this. Stick around.
It's all messed up, yeah. Everything's messed up. We're going from this mess up to the next setup. Everything seems so messed up, but it's just our setup.
Everybody, I'm comedian Michael Halcomb, and back with me, comedian Todd Probus. Todd, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. So you're based there near Lexington area in Woodford County, and you're performing and you're producing shows. And so in this episode, the idea is let's dial into the performing side and really pull back the curtains on how does this joke writing thing work, right? You mentioned in the first episode that the first part of our interview that you took a class years ago, a stand-up comedy class in college. And so you did joke writing in that class. And now here we kind of are going to look at the genesis of a joke, maybe a premise, I don't know. And so tell us what you've got, and then backtrack and then tell us the origin story, and we'll see if we can punch it up together.
All right. So first of all, my phone, like most comics, is just full. You can't see it. I don't know why I held that up. It's just a white screen, but the notes app on my phone is where all my ideas go. And so I was kind of thumbing through these dozens and dozens of ideas. One thing that happened a couple of months ago is that I left the house. I work from home, and I was wanting some breakfast, and I went to Wendy's, and I pulled into the Wendy's drive-thru, and they're like, "It's 8:30." I'm like, "Yeah, you're open for breakfast."
That's right.
Like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah. What sounds good?" And so I've done that part. I've talked about how I'm like, I'm looking at a breakfast menu right now. Don't ask me like, what sounds good? We'll try to whip it up for you. You've made a promise that you can make these things, And so I tried this bit. It was a very rough draft. I tried it at a mic in Louisville, I think. And I was like, I don't need to pull up to the window and see someone watching a YouTube video on how to make biscuits in the background, And then I compared it to, and that's obviously all comedy is rooted in truth with some embellishments. The first part of that Wendy's story is completely true. Like, they were caught off guard by the fact that I was there while they were open for breakfast. It's like they didn't even consider the possibility that someone would want to come there for breakfast. They're like, "It's 8:30. I'm like, "Yeah, you're open." But it reminded me of when we took our girls to Disney World years and years ago, and we were there for like a week or something. And so we went to Magic Kingdom on 2 or 3 of those days. And one day we let one daughter choose the first thing we were going to do. And she chose like Pirates of the Caribbean or Splash Mountain or something. And then the next time we let the younger daughter pick what we were going to do first. Okay. And she picked the 3D movie. And so, like, of everything we could do at Magic Kingdom, she picked the 3D movie. And when we showed up, like, they were like, "Oh, Peter Pan's around the corner." And now we were like, "No, we're here for this." Like, the crowds are all going to Space Mountain, Splash Mountain.
Right.
And, that Wendy's episode reminded me of that. Like, they were not expecting anybody for like 2 more hours. Like, they had to go find the keys, plug in the movie. We were the only family in there. And so I was, that's one of those things we talked in the other episode about. That's a funny story to me. The Wendy's story is funny. The Disney World story is funny. It's funny when I tell these things to my friends. But how can I connect these two in a way that would be funny to strangers, Because not everybody has been to Wendy's for breakfast, obviously, because they weren't expecting anybody. Not everybody's been to Disney World, How do I say, and I tried it and I got some laughs at that mic, but I remember thinking, there's probably more there that I could dive into and make it more, resonate a little harder with folks. So that's one thing that was on my notes app here is, that story, but I need to make it more relevant to people so they can kind of identify with.
I love that, because it's almost like, I love the idea that they sort of forgot that
If
they
they're
serve
open.
breakfast.
Yeah, yeah.
They forgot they served breakfast. They forgot to open. It's almost like from an absurd lightning point of view, you could be like, "What do you guys serve breakfast from 7 to 7:01?"
Right,
Like,
right,
what
right. You gotta be
you
here when
know?
we open or else we've moved on.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're hamburger
sir.
people now.
That's it, sir. We only serve breakfast from 7 to 7:01.
Right. I mean, it was just
Um,
so bizarre, and then, like, I wish I could have seen their faces because at Disney
right,
World, I could see her face. She was like actually, I don't remember if it was a guy or a girl. I'd have to think about it really hard, but they were like, everybody else, hundreds and hundreds of people are going to these other rides to get there first. Like they're literally
right.
running to get to other rides. And we come strolling up to the movie, the same, you can watch a 3D movie at the zoo.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, Peter Pan's around the corner." We're like, "No, this is what she picked." And I could see it was a guy. I could see the look on his face, like, "Okay, like, all right, let me unlock this door." And he even did the spiel just for the four of us, like, I don't know. It was I was
Right.
just first of all, I was frustrated. I'm like, "We paid all this money and we're sitting in a 3D movie." We're
That's
sitting
funny. Yeah. What is Wendy's? Sorry, backtracking to Wendy's. Do you know what their slogan is?
their slogan should be, "Oh yeah, we serve breakfast." You know, we
That's what
just
I'm trying to think.
remembered.
Like, what would be a funny slogan? For the fact that that's a good one. Oh yeah, we serve breakfast, or
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wendy's breakfast, like it never happened.
That's right.
Right.
Wendy's breakfast. Just remind us.
Yeah.
You know, just remind us.
So that could be another funny angle to come at, the
Slogans. Yeah.
Wendy's part. And
Yeah.
then the Disney thing's funny too. Yeah.
Well, and I'm trying to think of other things like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other situations where people it's assumed that everyone's going to go do this one thing. And I'll put it, I was thinking one time, my wife and I used to do Black Friday shopping, like hardcore Black Friday shopping. And this is
Right.
back before online shopping really took off. But I remember one time we went to Walmart, I think, or Target. And we got there when the doors open. It was 4 in the morning or whatever. And we're scrambling, we're getting the toys or whatever. And I remember seeing someone in line and all they had was like a box of cereal and some light bulbs. And they
That's great, dude.
now, you know, you could have waited hours. I mean, how badly did you need, you know,
Right.
and all the other places you could have gone to get these things, and you're in this
Uh,
line. Everyone's got like TVs and PlayStations, and they're just in line with like a box of light bulbs and some Cocoa Crisp. It's just the idea of somebody doing something that's so different from what everybody else is doing in that moment. You know,
yeah,
like,
that's good.
I don't know. It's that kind of absurdism that, you know, and I
Oh
don't know if that's
man,
connected at all, but that's the kind of thing I think about. Everyone's going to these different rides. We're watching the 3D movie. Everyone's getting
yeah.
PlayStations and Xboxes. I'm getting a box of Cocoa Crisp, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know. This is the roughest of drafts, but
So how long? Let's pull back the curtain a little bit. How long have you been thinking about this? Well, I want to ask this. So probably the idea for the joke came up after the Wendy's visit,
yeah, it was the
right?
Wendy's thing. It was the Wendy's thing. That was probably in August. That was
Okay,
probably
so
in August.
a few months then.
Yeah, so it's been just a couple of months. I mean, the Disney World thing happened probably 12 years ago, probably. My
Right.
youngest is 16, and she was probably 3 or 4 when it happened. So I've had
So
that, that's been one of those stories that I've just told people in passing that they thought was funny and I thought was funny, but I never had anything to compare it to that everyone could relate to, right? Because Disney World is something that not everybody goes and would
right.
understand the difference, And so, I've kept that Disney World story tucked in my brain for a long time. I just didn't have anything that it could really connect with. Something else that happened that same week is we left our garage door open all night and nobody and everything was untouched. Like nothing was taken that we could tell. And that same night or that same week, other people in our neighborhood on Facebook said my car was broken into and everybody locked their doors. And so I'm like, People were actively breaking into cars. We
Didn't
leave
want
our
your
garage
stuff.
door open, and they're like,
Yeah, dude, that's great. I
so
love that.
I haven't done this on stage yet, but, I'm like, "Our stuff is just bad." Like, we just don't have good stuff. And that same week, I went to the public library. I took a couple of books back, books I checked out and never read because that's my go-to move, right? And, I took the books back, and I looked around the library for 15, 20 minutes, and I walked out with nothing. And I remember thinking, like, in our public library, everything is free and there's so much in there. And I'm just like, nah, like there's nothing in
Uh,
here that I could have any use for. And so those two things happened the same week. And so I'm like, is there a connection there between my garage being wide open, all the tools that my wife uses, not me, all our stuff? Someone could have gotten into her vehicle and
yeah.
they just didn't even bother, or they looked and didn't see anything. And me going in the library where this vast wealth of information and knowledge all at my fingertips, all available. I could just check it out and walk out. And I'm like, I'm good. I know it. There's nothing in here for me. I'm good. Oh,
I think it'd be, you could even go like, again, the heightening absurd route. Like, our stuff was so bad, nobody touched it. In fact, the next night, the
people left
thieves
stuff.
left stuff in
Yeah,
our
yeah,
garage.
yeah. People replaced I had a new weed eater. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
Where'd this leaf blower come from?
Yeah. Yeah, my youngest daughter for a while, she wanted a Jeep Wrangler, and, she thought it was cool that people would put I don't know if you've seen this, they put the rubber ducks on Jeep
Yeah, I've seen
Wranglers, it's
that.
like a thing, and so I drive a base model Honda Civic, so people leave, like, sympathy cards on my like,
And there you go.
gift cards, like, "Sorry, dude, here's some gas money to help you out."
Yeah, the thief leaves a
Right.
note that says no thanks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lowe's will be having a sale soon. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, connecting the Wendy's and uh
Connecting the
the
Wendy's and Disney World, maybe there's nothing there. I don't know. Like I said, I tried it at a mic. It got laughs, but I remember thinking there might be more here. But I need to do it in a way, like I said, that someone who's never been to Disney World could understand the absurdity of us picking the 3D movie at the moment the park opens while everybody else is in line for the good rides. That's kind of where I struggle to land the plane. But
yeah,
and maybe there's nothing there. Maybe it's just again, we talked about this in the other episode. Not everything that's really funny is stage funny. Maybe it's
right.
just one of those things, and that's okay. Maybe it's just one of those things that when I'm talking with friends, especially friends who have been to Disney, who understand the absurdity of picking that
Right.
as your first thing, maybe that's not something that goes on stage. Not everything has to be stage funny. Some things just don't work on stage, and that's okay.
Yeah.
There's probably more with the Wendy's thing because everybody's been to Wendy's, everybody's been to a drive-through. But the fact that I've caught them off guard during their open hours, you know, that was what clicked.
Yeah, I think yeah. I don't know, like I'm trying to make a connection. I know you're doing the connection from Wendy's to Disneyland, but I'm also trying to think of a connection with Wendy's to garage door
Oh, to the
being open.
garage.
Like I think those are both hilarious. And I think you have solid premises there for sure. But in both instances, if you want to make a connection, it's almost like in both instances, like someone's conveying to you, like maybe the universe is conveying to you, for joke's sake, that like you're not even worth the trouble,
Right.
you know?
Right. I didn't need that biscuit.
Yeah. Wendy's forgets that your breakfast exists, right? Something like that. You're not even worth the trouble. Burglars, your stuff's not even worth looking at.
Right.
Yeah, and thinking like a third thing there that could suggest you're not even worth the trouble, but that might be a connection there. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I don't know. I'm trying to think of something where I was like the only one or the last one, where it was just me. I do tell a joke. It's a story. I finished last in a 10K and they had already put away the bananas in the water, and, like, everybody gets a banana in the water, and
Yeah,
it was
dude.
so awkward, like, they thought I was still out. They didn't think there was anybody still out. They thought everybody had come in and was gone home, and I was
Yeah.
still on the course, and, like, they were folding up the tables, I
That's
mean,
funny, dude.
yeah. That's the thing, real life, if you just I forget who said it. It's a touring pro comic. Man, I wish I could remember. It may be Greg Warren, who I did it. I worked with. I just did a spot on a show a year ago with him. I feel
Mm,
like it was Greg Warren. He said, the best material comes from interruptions, meaning like
right.
life is going the way it's supposed to go, but then when something interrupts, that's where the humor is. Like Wendy's saying, "Yeah, it's only 8:30," or the garage door being these things that are out of the ordinary. That's where you find the humor, not recognizing these kinds of interruptions, and like I
Yeah.
said, deciding, can I make the leap from it's funny to me to it's funny to strangers? That's where the hard work is, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's I don't know. I like that. I like the fact that you're not worth it's the God telling me that biscuit was not real
Right.
in my
Yeah, yeah.
plans for you. I know the plans I have for you, and they include fewer calories.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And here's another angle just to think about. Like, I mean, we live in a world and society where everybody loves being the victim,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Right,
So
right.
maybe you like are you're having missed victimhood opportunities.
Well, I'm the victim of hurt feelings. I mean, was my stuff
There
not
you
good enough
go.
for you? I mean, I've got nice stuff in that garage. I've got some communion ware. I've got, I've got a few broken weed eaters. I've got some ornaments. And is this not good? Are you people too
Right.
good? Are you too good for my boots?
Yeah.
Not up to your standards. So yeah.
Love that I love that the Disney story.
Mhm.
Like, this is the amazing thing about comedy too. Like that Disney story, like 12 years ago, like suddenly comes,
Oh yeah.
you know, makes a reappearance in like a new and fresh way,
Yeah.
right? And this is part of the reason why we write all this crap down, right? Because we never really know when there'll be a fresh connection and we might be able to reuse something or recycle something. Yeah.
Yeah, I go way back in some of my sets. I mean, going back to childhood, just brief stories. If I can connect them with something happening now, then it's all the better. And
Yeah.
maybe it's a way of working out. I didn't have a traumatic childhood or anything like that. I've had some difficult times with aging parents and so forth, but if there's a way that I can connect that with something now, or maybe it comes full circle from me as a parent now to when I was a kid,
Right.
so many years ago. The crowds at my shows skew just a little older, just a
Yeah.
tad older. I won't say they're an older crowd, just and you see nodding, like you see nodding laughter, like I get it, I resonate with this.
Right.
And so I enjoy that because, my teenage years weren't wild partying, drugs and alcohol. My teenage years were watching Golden Girls with my parents, which is what I assumed
Right.
everybody did, you know. I thought that's how everybody spent their Saturday nights, was watching Golden Girls with their parents. And so,
Yeah. I remember watching, hung out when we lived with my grandma, watching, like, Burt Reynolds, that old Burt Reynolds show, Fall Guy,
oh
Burt
yeah, 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 yeah,
Reynolds,
yeah, yeah,
Hawaii Five-O, I think is what it was. Burt
right,
Reynolds, Fall Guy, Hawaii Five-O, all those things with grandma, and then, of course, Jeopardy, so
yeah, yeah,
that was a nightly thing, but wow, dude, let's see if we can make up some thanks for bringing that joke. Let's see if we can do some quick on the spot things here
yeah,
real quick. All right, so for those of you watching, you're gonna be able to see this on the screen. If you're just listening, that's cool too. Head over to michaelhalcomb.live. This is where I blog every day and put up stuff about comedy. And if you scroll down on the right side, you might, if you're on a phone or a tablet, it might look a little different. But under this socials tab, you're going to see a bunch of things. And then down at the very bottom, you're going to see the Joke Writers Lab 3 times. And the third one's the one you want to click, and because this is joke writing exercises. So you click that and it opens up a new page. And these are all sorts of joke writing exercises that I've created and coded, and they're just fun to play with. So jokes from headlines, cliches, roasting, lists, fallacies, rhetoric, structures, create setups from punches, finish the setup, finish the triple, new rule, jokes from acronyms, so on. So there's a lot to do here. They're all timed with the conviction that we're comedians and we work on a clock, that kind of thing. So yeah, let's we'll just do the jokes from headlines one. And what this does, when we go to the next page, we have a dynamic news prompt generator that I've created. And when you hit generate prompt, pulls a news headline from, oh my gosh, sounds terrible. It
Yeah.
pulls a news, yeah, some of them, those are actual news headlines from like news stations and newspapers, and it just throws it our way. And the idea is just to, however much time is allotted, to start writing jokes about whatever we see there. So yeah, so for example, a lot of them are political because it's news. We got Newsom says he will consider a 2028 presidential run after the midterms. So I'll hit start writing challenge and we'll just sort of bounce ideas back and forth and see if we can come up with some jokes here. So Newsom says he'll consider a 2028 presidential run after the midterms. In related news, Trump says he'll never run. I don't know.
In related news, I'm going to consider training for the Boston Marathon after Red Lobster Fest is over.
You go.
Get me through Lobster Fest, and then I'll be good.
Newsom says he'll consider a 2028 presidential run after the midterms, despite the fact that someone reminded him he never once passed midterms in school.
Let's see. Newsom's California, right?
Yeah, California.
You could. The wordplay would need to be tweaked here, but yet another Californian looking to flee the state.
There you go. Beautiful. And a rewording of the one I just did, a presidential run after the midterms, despite the fact that Newsom has a history of cheating on midterms. Yeah, it's another one. Well, let's do a new prompt here. I don't want to do.
This is all very
Yeah, it's just very fresh, like all straight from today and all political. You know, I'm trying to find one that'll be, non
There we go.
landmine.
There we go.
Yeah,
I
two
saw this.
arrested over theft of jewels at the Louvre Museum in Paris.
You know, I know this is terrible, but I just think back to that Muppets movie where they stopped a jewel heist in London. Did you see the video of these two guys who stole these Louvre? They were in like a basket lift, and the basket lift was going in slow motion back down to the street. Like it was the slowest high-speed getaway ever.
A slow speed
It
getaway.
was a slow speed getaway. Yeah.
Two arrested over theft of jewels at Louvre Museum in Paris. I want to make a joke here somehow. I only have an idea, like a germ of an idea, but how difficult it is for like someone to say the word Louvre.
Yeah. Right.
The spelling, like that's funny to me. Louvre.
And see, what I would do is I live near Paris, Kentucky, which is like a small rural community. So I would be like, if they had tried to pull the same thing in Paris, Kentucky, they would have gotten away with, I don't know, you can pick any Kentucky small town.
They would have gotten away with dentures and
Dentures, yeah. The problem is, like, anything I would say about Paris would be also true of where I live. It'd be true of where I grew up. We're all kind of in the same boat. But if I was doing a show here in Central Kentucky, I'd probably shift it to Paris, Kentucky, and talk about
great.
What could they get away with? Like, what was
the getaway car was a lifted pickup truck.
Was a John Deere? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Kubota
Beautiful
tractor.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. Theft of jewels. I love the switching it there to Paris, Kentucky. That's brilliant. Yeah, let's
Oh, God.
let's go Let's try these are terrible. Let's try some different ones here. We'll do jokes from cliches. We'll just try a few here. And in this one, the idea is I just got thousands of
Oh,
cliches,
yeah, that's
and
great.
we just
Well,
try
yes, you
to
can swing a dead cat.
yes, you
Yes, you
can swing a
can.
dead.
I promise.
All right, so here we go. Yeah, thorn in the flesh. Um, no, not the Apostle Paul, my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Um, a thorn in the flesh.
Oh gosh, yet another reason for my mom to spray me with Bactine. Everything that ever happened to me growing up, she either put calamine lotion or Bactine. Like even if it was,
Right.
brain
That's
surgery, that if she'd have been a doctor, she would have been.
it's funny to think like to think that the Apostle Paul's mom, like, to try to heal the thorn in the flesh, would have put Bactine on him.
Right,
Like
right. Thorn in the flesh. That's a tricky one.
yeah. Let's see. Many are called, but few are chosen.
That's me waiting for every kickball game in elementary school PE class. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to be picked for a team. Yeah.
Many are called, but few are chosen. Uh, yeah, me at eighth grade dances.
Yeah, 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 that would be it. Um, let's see.
Do another one here. Uh, beat him by a long chalk. I've
I've
never heard that
never heard of that
before.
one.
One small step for man, a giant leap for mankind. One small step for a man, a giant leap for mankind.
My wife and I getting out of Target having spent less than $20.
Oh,
That's a
nice.
giant leap for us.
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. Let's do another type here. This is one of my favorites. So I got like thousands and thousands of jokes, and what I did was these are jokes by other comedians,
Oh,
and
wow.
I cut the punchline off and left the setup. So the idea is for us to try to come up with our own punchline now.
Hmm.
So this one, I don't know. Let's see. A lot of these are political as well. But, after a tie with Portugal, the U.S. soccer team now faces Germany on Thursday. um,
Oh, man.
after a tie with Portugal, the U.S. soccer team now faces Germany on Thursday. To which the U.S. replied, "We have a soccer team."
Yeah. Yeah. My gosh, I'm thinking of something German specific.
Well, everything sort of goes Nazi for me, like was when you start thinking of Germany, but
Yeah. Or,
Berliner.
oh, um, it would have to be a written thing, but you could say, "I hate playing Germany, they're just the worst." WURST.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's very good.
I go to
I
food
hate
automatically, I can't help myself.
um yeah, let's see. In Alaska, a thief broke into a home and found 100,000 in cash, but only took 20. I guess it was cold hard cash.
Cold hard cash. Um, see, my mind automatically jumps to, like, a Sarah Palin, I can see Russia from my house. So, I was
Yeah,
thinking,
right.
like, I don't know how to connect those 2 things, though. Only took 20.
Thief broke into a home and found 100,000 in cash, but only took 20,000. Yeah, that's a
Dude,
tough one.
it is
That's
a
a little bit
tough
of
one,
a
man. I have Sunday night brain right now.
no, no, no. Um, golly. Today, presidential candidate Trump released his birth certificate.
See, so on a birth certificate, they don't put weight and length, do they? That's only like a medical.
I don't know. They might.
Hmm.
Yeah. Trump released his birth certificate. Um, today, presidential candidate Donald Trump released his birth certificate. um, oh,
I don't
there's
know.
some.
But go ahead.
No, I'm of course thinking like MAGA, but I'm thinking how people who just hate hate him are always like fascists. You know, his middle name was fascist or something like that on there. That's kind of funny.
Well, I was thinking,
Uh,
like, do they put skin color on the birth certificates?
Skin color orange.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking of, like, skin color Spalding-ish, you know?
Yeah. And the presidential candidate Donald Trump released his birth certificate, and his weight huge.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It was the greatest length you've ever seen in your entire life. It was the greatest the time of birth, no one has ever been born at that time ever, you know? And now he's gonna go back and demolish the NICU wing of the hospital and build a new one.
yes, there you go, dude.
Yeah.
That's great. That's brilliant. Yep. That's really good. Well, man, this has been fun, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for humoring me and playing along. It's a good
Yeah, I
time. I
gotta
love
check
doing
that
this
out,
for
man. That's fun.
comedians, dude. Yeah, that's all free. It's up on the internet for anybody to use at any time they want. So if you're watching, you're listening, and you want to use that, please do. By the way, go check out over on Instagram at Todd Probus. Give Todd a follow, and after you've done that, then you can give at Michael Halcomb live also a follow. Todd, you're killing me in the followers department here, but
They're all Russian bots. I bought those people. No. Hey, I have a
uh,
podcast too. I'd love to say it real quick. My
yeah,
teenage daughter and I have a podcast called
really.
called You Think You're So Funny. There's a link on my Instagram page under the links. It's You Think You're So Funny. We just talk father-daughter stuff. That's a lot of fun. We do it once every few weeks or so, and
That's
hope
great.
people can check that out. Yeah, it's a
Yes, everybody, go check that out. Subscribe to it. Do you do that on what, Spotify, YouTube?
Yeah,
Where?
we do it on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts and, Podbean, I think. There's a separate I think there's a separate anyway, the link's on my Instagram page, so people can go check it out.
Right on. And while you're there, I mean, you can see where Todd's next show up, and if you're in the Lexington, Kentucky area, Central
Yeah.
Kentucky area, go see Todd live. And yeah, man, Todd, dude, it's been great connecting with you. Thanks for carving out some time to talk comedy and do jokes and all that stuff, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
it's been fun. I really appreciate the opportunity to do this. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And for the rest of you who are watching or listening, thanks so much. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all the things. Follow, subscribe there. MichaelHalcomb.live. Love for you to subscribe to the daily. I have a blast writing that. So we're gonna stop here, friends. We're gonna wrap it up and say we hope that helps.
It's all messed up, yeah. Everything's messed up. We're going from this mess up to the next setup. Everything seems so messed up, but it's just our setup.